Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning. My name is Chilyn, and today let's take a look at the molecular reform therapy. Because since the first episode, we have been talking about this MRT concept since the very first episode. So what exactly is it? And first of all, before I answer all of you guys' question, I want to ask you guys the question. Do you think that for your health state, are you healthy, semi-healthy, or are you already sick? So maybe you have some chronic illnesses or diseases or etc., something like that. And why do we ask this question? Because if you actually give thought to about it, only then you would start to think whether if your body is actually healthy or not. Because as humans, we would often only start taking care of our health when illnesses comes to us. And actually, when we get sick, right, we would usually go to look for medicine or like medical therapy, to seek for medical therapy. Because usually we seek medicine when we are sick. So when do you look for medical therapy? That is when you are already very sick, like you are already ill. So actually, this is not something that you would seek for when you're still healthy or like semi-healthy. And usually, these kind of medical therapy, they would first look at like what symptoms you have. And usually, those with these symptoms are already sick, are diagnosed with chronic illnesses. So they would provide you with some medicine so that it can have fast effects in suppressing your symptoms, like certain allergies that can be suppressed by medicine. But actually, not all illnesses or chronic diseases can be treated because it only temporarily soothes your pain. It does not treat your root cause. So if the root cause is not treated, your sickness would still occur because it didn't solve the root cause, right? It only temporarily relieves your pain. It's like a temporary pain relief. And this type of medical therapy can only be sought for when you are already ill. So what if when we are still healthy or semi-healthy? What should we seek for? And this is why we have this holistic concept. And for this concept, it's more natural. It's a natural therapy, as how mentioned by the earlier sharers. It's more natural. And what's the difference is that you don't seek for holistic concept only when you're sick. You can seek for holistic concept when you're still healthy or only have slight discomfort, like when you're still semi-healthy. And when you are very healthy, it will help you to further maintain your health. And if you're semi-healthy, it will try to tune back your health. And for these, mainly it provides you nutrients, oxygen, and water. And why do we need these? Because these are the three main things we need to survive. And with these three essentials, it will nourish and repair our cells. It's the basic things that our cells need. And though these three essentials sounds basic, they're actually very important. And because cells can nourish themselves with these three essentials. So their main difference is medicinal therapy provides temporary pain relief, but the root cause is not treated. For holistic concept, it helps you to maintain while you're healthy and help you to nourish and you recover when you're semi-healthy and only have slight discomforts. So what it does is it will find its root cause and nourish the cells based on what nutrients they need. And this is important before and after onset of illnesses. So actually, your body is the best doctor to keep yourself healthy. As long as you keep the cells in your body healthy, you will be healthy. So why are nutrients frequently mentioned in the holistic concept? Actually, in 1970s, U.S. Congress set up the Special Committee of Nutrients Investigation to investigate what makes humans fall ill. And after 2 years of study, they found that it has something to do with the imbalanced nutrient metabolism. And this is based on their findings. So the most important thing is because of their nutrition intake. So with imbalanced nutrient metabolism, so what does that mean? Nutrients are what our body needs, right? And the food we eat to get the nutrients, they have to be converted into energy. So this process is known as metabolism. So if we have imbalanced nutrients, our metabolism would be imbalanced too. And this would lead to cell functions to not function properly, which leads to abnormal metabolism and gradually will lead to chronic illnesses. This means that when we need to start from paying attention to our nutrients in order to prevent any chronic illnesses. And so this concept is the best way to actually keep your body healthy. And actually, earlier, way back, this concept has actually been already proposed by a Dr. Linus Pauling. So in the mid-1960s, his field is more to like the chemical and health field. So he combined his knowledge of chemical and health and concluded that so he's a really smart scientist. Besides chemical, he also knows about our health. And he combined these two knowledge and concluded that our body is like a really, really big experimental lab. And in an experimental lab, right, there are many chemical reactions occurring. So when we are doing researches, there's always some experiments, chemical reactions going on. So our body is like an experimental lab, which has chemical reactions occurring all the time, 24/7. So when these chemical reactions occur, our body needs some requirements in order for it to function properly, such as nutrients, catalysts, and etc. And in order for our cells to function properly, we need to give them the nutrients they need so that they can produce energy, antibodies, immune response, and etc. So this researcher suggested that a concept that if we want to be healthy, we need to have the materials to allow our cells to function. And if our cells don't get enough materials that they need, they won't be able to function properly. So it would affect their performance. And if they malfunction, it would affect our health. And this is like a factory, you know? So for a factory, you need materials for it to operate, right? So if you don't give materials for it to operate, it wouldn't operate properly. And this is like our body. If we don't give the materials to our body, to our cells wouldn't be able to function properly, and thence our body wouldn't be healthy. So this is what the researcher had suggested, that if we want to be healthy, we need the right molecules in the right amounts in order to allow our body to function properly. So this concept is known as the molecular reform therapy concept. And actually, he predicted that this MRT concept, this holistic concept, in the 21st century, they will be using this concept as the main treatment for humans. But actually, back then, his saying was criticized by many in the medical field because back then, medical therapy was the more common kind of therapy. But actually, his sayings did come true in the 21st century. So, what exactly is molecular reform therapy? Actually, there are 4 steps to it. As long as you understand these 4 steps, and if you follow along these 4 steps, you would be able to maintain and condition your body. So, why is it molecular? Actually, molecular means like those nutrient molecular. So now let's have a look at how to operate these 4 steps. First of all, we need to understand about our body. And as mentioned earlier, we kept mentioning and emphasizing on the importance of nutrients, right? So all living things, including humans, are made out of cells. And when you want to build a house, right, the most basic material you need are bricks. And so actually, like a house, our human's body are like a house. We need cells to form up our body. So we are made out of many cells. It first forms into tissues, and the many tissues will form into organs. And those many organs will together form a system, such as our lungs, nose, and mouth, and etc. makes up the respiratory system. Heart and blood vessels makes up the circulatory system, and different systems forms a complete and healthy body. And this is why to achieve a healthy body, we need to start from the most basics. As our body cells are healthy, we will be healthy as well. And actually, there are 6 factors that lead to unhealthy cells. And that is why we will get sick, such as having imbalanced diet, air and water pollution, like exposed to these kind of pollution, daily stress, lack of exercises, and other unhealthy lifestyles, such as smoking and staying up late. So all these factors would bring toxins to your cells, and it would bring a lot of troubles to your cells. So if you want to have a healthy body, right, these are the 4 steps of the MRT concepts in order to achieve a healthier lifestyle and body in general. So first is having balanced nutrition. Second is increased oxygen intake. Third is detoxification. And fourth is health regulation. So these are the 4 steps. Let's have a look one by one. First is balanced diet. Balanced nutrition. So you guys are probably thinking like, this is the 21st century, you know. A lot of us are already knowledgeable in that we have to take the recommended nutritional intake requirement in order to stay healthy. But actually, it sounds easy, but many are unable to achieve this. So in higher income, more urbanized countries, people would binge eat and only eat yummy food. They would eat a lot, but they don't really think about whether it is nutritional for them. And this is why imbalanced nutrition still occurs even though they eat a lot. And this is actually known as, we would call this as hidden hunger, because they would consume too much dietary energy, like a lot of calories from macronutrients such as fats and carbohydrates. So those are a lot of calories, right? But then they lack nutrients. They lack micronutrients. They eat many calories, but they don't contain any nutrition, and it does not meet any nutrient requirements. So we need nutrients, and we get them from food, right? But people are getting 0 nutrients from foods that doesn't provide any nutrients. And this is why people still have imbalanced nutrition, even though they eat a lot. So this is one part of the world, and another part of the world is like some of them, they can't even obtain enough calories, and this usually occurs in poorer countries because food are maybe scarce. And in Malaysia or Asian countries, we aren't that poor. So actually, our main problem is that we don't acquire proper nutrients. So food is the source of health as it provides food for cells, right? But balanced diet, which includes high sodium, sugar, fats, is also the cause of illnesses. And we can actually replenish on nutrients that we are unable to obtain through supplements. And here are a series of MRT products for this generation. And first one is Spirulina. Even though it's derived from algae, from plants, it actually has very complete nutrients that we need. It has 60 types of nutrients, all the ones that we need for our body, as there are some nutrients that our body are unable to produce ourselves. And all these nutrients can be found in ELKEN Spirulina. So another one is EPA-DHA, and actually, 90% of the human population is unable to obtain omega-3, and omega-3 is something that our body can't produce itself. And so actually, one soft gel contains 100 milligrams of EPA and 120 milligrams of DHA, which is equivalent to 30 grams of salmon. And the third and fourth one are sources of vitamin C. And they differ because ester Cs are actually non-acidic vitamin Cs. And they also contain higher amounts of vitamin Cs as well as other antioxidants. So actually, ester C is suitable for those with like a really stressful lifestyle, a really tiring lifestyle. And actually, normal other brand supplements for vitamin Cs, they're usually acidic vitamin Cs. So this might be harmful to their stomach if eaten too much. But as ester C are non-acidic, you wouldn't have this problem. So besides that, they also have a higher absorption rate and 4 times higher of efficacy than other brands, and it can stay up in your body for up to 24 hours. Next, we have Gummy C. So Gummy C is for those who doesn't like to swallow tablets as they're gummies. And so it also contains, besides vitamin C's, it also contains zinc, which is good for skin recovery and for anti-inflammatory effects. So actually, one gummy contains 60 milligrams of vitamin C and 1 milligrams of zinc. And actually, this is suitable for all ages as it's a gummy and can be consumed by all ages. And as long as you understand what your body lacks, you can, based on what your body lacks, you can consume these products. So besides the one we mentioned earlier, which is the vitamins and fats, we also need minerals. So which systems needs minerals? Well, it is our body's environment, which is our internal and external environment of our cells, because they need water. And actually, our body is made of water. 60 to 70% is water, right? So if we lack water, it would affect our cells, and thence would affect our immune system and our central nervous system. So it would also affect our emotions and our cognitive skills and our skin. So basically, it is very important for all of our systems. And if we don't get enough of it, enough water, we would be affected based on all of our systems. And that is why we need minerals. So for MRT products, we have Kington Isotonic and Kington Mineral. And how do we differentiate it? So if you don't really have a lot of stress, or you're just like, okay, you can use isotonic as like a daily supplement. Actually, pregnant woman is also suitable to consume Kington Isotonic. And on the other hand, if you are an athlete or uses a lot of energy, you stress out a lot, you can opt for Kington Mineral as well. So they contain 78 types of bioavailable trace minerals. And so they are sources from rich in nutrients, and they are very microfine, which is easily absorbed by our body. So next one is Calmex. Calmex is a calcium and magnesium supplement for our bones, and actually many might be confused as to how to select the best supplement for replenishing calcium and whether if like a higher amount means the better. So for Calmex, it does not have the highest amount, but it for sure has very good absorption rate. Because actually, we also need magnesium, as it is like a guide for our calcium to guide us into our bones. And so based on studies, it is proven that a ratio of 2:1 and is the best formulation, is the best formulation to replenish for our bones for calcium. Actually, high dosage doesn't mean it's the best, because it might mean that its absorption might be not that good. But for Calmex, its calcium is ionized, which means that it is very easy to be absorbed by our body. Because if we are unable to properly absorb the calcium, it would affect our intestines But for Comex, it is a ionized calcium that's easily to be absorbed by our body, so it wouldn't harm our intestines. And next, we also have Gummy Visio, which provides a 5-to-1 ratio of lutein and zeaxanthin. And actually, zeaxanthin and lutein is important to increase the pigment for our macula. But actually, because zeaxanthin and lutein is very hard to be extracted or replenished through food, that is why this Gummy Visio is very important for the 21st century, as we are using a lot of electronics and etc. So it's suitable for both elderlies and kids as well. And after having enough nutrients, we need to increase the oxygen intake for our body as well. So yes, you are breathing right now, but how do you know if you're actually lacking oxygen? So you can not drink water for 3 days, but you can still be alive. But and you don't eat for a whole week, but you still can survive. But if you do not breathe for like 3 to 4 minutes, your brain might start to act weird because you can't function properly. Because actually, when our cells are operating, like for the chemical reactions and metabolism, we need oxygen. So for this 21st century, right, many people doesn't know that even if you're breathing right now, it doesn't mean that you're actually getting enough oxygen. And because there is something called happy hypoxia, which means that your lungs are not getting enough oxygen. And actually, you wouldn't be realizing that you're lacking oxygen because your body is unable to tell you that. And that is why even if you are breathing, are you sure that you're breathing right? Are you sure that your lungs are operating correctly? Therefore, through this MRT concept, there's a way to increase our oxygen intake, which is we can try out guasa. And guasa is a really traditional method, but though it's a traditional method, it has many modern studies and recent researches about it. And actually, the part where you did guasa, you will be able to have an improved blood circulation and oxygen supply. So if you have good blood circulation, your body will be able to metabolize better. Actually, guasa is suitable for all parts of your body, and it's like a conditioning for your whole body. As for MRT, there is our own special oil, Arosa oil for the guasa, which has really all natural essential oils, and it also has superb penetration. It can improve blood circulation, and it also has aromatological effect. So pairing it with guasa board, which is made from buffalo horn, it can remove body toxic and has detoxifying effects. And besides that, it is also safe on the skin, which is it wouldn't harm your skin. And this is a really good method to help with your oxygen, increase your oxygen supply. And after that, for the third step, we have detoxification. Our body has its own detoxification effects. Because of certain factors like lifestyle or eating habits, it would affect our detox organs. So one of them is the lungs. For the detoxification, it eliminates CO2, and skin eliminates water and sodium, and kidney eliminates urine. But the most common issue, not just in elderlies, but in young people as well, is our intestinal problems like constipation. Actually, constipation means that your intestines are already malfunctioning. Or maybe if you hold in your urine or you don't have a balanced diet, it would also cause constipation. And actually, studies found that colorectal cancer is one of the leading causes of cancer worldwide. It is the third most common cancer in men and second most common in women. And actually in Malaysia, colorectal cancer is the second most common cancer in 2020. And So that is why we need to focus more on intestinal detoxification in order to obtain health. And when cells metabolize, it produces metabolites that needs to be eliminated from our body, or it will turn into toxins. And in MRT, there are two types of products that can eliminate toxins, which are lactose and lactose S. Actually, our intestines have a lot of bacteria. There's good bacteria or bad bacteria, but if you don't have enough nutrition, your bad bacteria would overpower your good bacteria. So over here we have two products, which is lactose and lactose S, where they both contains lactose, which can help to remove your waste or your toxins. And as for lactose, it contains GOS, which is the food our intestines, probiotics, antibacteria needs. And actually, if we eat a lot of junk food or we don't eat enough fiber, we will be unable to help improve or increase the probiotics in our body. And if you want our antibacteria to multiply, we need to give them food so that they can grow more, right? And besides that, we also have soybean powder, which can promote bowel movement. So if we lack water or exercising, it would actually affect our bowel movement. So next we have lactose S. So lactose S doesn't have GOS or soybean powder, but it contains dextrin, which is a type of soluble fiber that can absorb water like a gel. And when it reaches our intestines, it acts like a sponge to absorb the waste and eliminates it along with the stools. And it's different from lactose because it directly gives you the probiotics that you need. And so lactose is food for probiotics, but lactose S directly gives it to you, which is probiotics, which is Bifidobacterium longum. And if we have a balanced intestinal environment, our intestines would gradually function better as well. So that is why we need these kind of nutrients. And lastly, after maintaining all of your systems or conditioning your body, the fourth one is we still need to regulate our health. And I believe that those who own cars, especially new cars, you would bring your car over for like regular maintenance, right? Like for servicing. But how about our body? Our body is like a machine too, as it has 10 different systems and all of them need maintenance as well. So we have digestive systems, circulatory systems, excretory systems, immune system, endocrine systems, respiratory systems, musculoskeletal system, central nervous system, and both male and female reproductive systems. And so 10 in total. And in MRT, these are the few that can help with it. And the first one is energy. It is beneficial specifically for our metabolism. Actually, metabolism is not just about being skinny or being fat. It would affect our liver function and etc., and which is all the chemical reactions that occurs in our body. So our metabolism might malfunction because actually our body needs a lot of enzymes in order for our metabolism to work. And if there's something wrong with our metabolism, problems like 3 highs or diabetes would occur. And Zenergy contains 65 types of plant components that has went through 1,200 days of fermentation, and it contains a variety of microfine nutrients and high polyphenol content. So we need these enzymes to boost our metabolism. And through these microfine nutrients, our body can be easily absorb these nutrients, and it can boost our enzyme function and strengthen our metabolism. And besides that, it also has its own proprietary clinical researches that it could help with glucose metabolism, detoxification and liver protection, immunity, blood pressure, and fat accumulation. Next, we have LX Young, which helps with our circulatory system. It contains nitric oxide that helps relax our blood vessels, which lessens the risk of getting hypertension and blood clots. It also contains TAE, which helps to maintain normal platelet aggregation, if we don't maintain a normal platelet aggregation, our blood might be too thick and so it would clot. So with TAE, it would maintain a normal platelet aggregation and it can flow better, so it wouldn't clot. And another one is curcumin. So curcumin can help improve our good cholesterol and balance out the bad cholesterol. And the next one is synergistic vitamins that helps to support health circulatory system. Next is ELG6, which is a bovine cholesterol. Bovine cholesterol helps provide those your immune factors that helps you to battle out the viruses for your body. And next we have alpha hex, which is extracted from a special type of mushroom known as the MME, which can balance out immune system and reduce infections. Actually, this doesn't just directly give you the things you need, but it helps you to train your immune system and help you to strengthen your immune system and train it so that it becomes stronger. And next we have Cell Joy Go, which is for our joint, and it has 3-in-1 benefits. The first one is relay joint degeneration. Then we have replenish on cartilage, and third we have delay inflammation and pain. So it also contains like curcumin extract, which has anti-inflammatory effects. And so overall, let us conclude. We have 4 steps of molecular reform therapy that we know, which is the first one is to replenish on nutrients. The second one is increase oxygen. And the third one is detoxification. So actually, metabolism is really important because the toxin doesn't just come from the food you eat. It also occurs due to the chemical reactions in your body. And that is why detoxification is important. And next, we have regular maintenance for our body. So as long as you follow these steps, your body would be the best doctor in the world.